So we've been hearing in the news that a lot of undocumented illegals are being deported, right? Yeah, they're being deported. So my question to you is, since a lot of these poor people are being taken from their jobs, does that mean that you are going to leave your nice, comfy office job to go pick fruit? I don't know, but here in California, it's kind of cold.
The mass deportations and ICE raids happening in Bakersfield, I wanted to take the time and make this video, and I'm going to be making it in English and Spanish, because we need to talk about how to protect yourself from ICE, especially if they start coming to your home.
Trump's mass deportation plans, I hope you step on a Lego every single morning for the rest of your life. I hope the gas pump stops at $0.01 short of a round number. I hope you pick the slowest checkout line at the grocery store every single time. And I hope you always have a pebble in all of your shoes and never find it.
Hello and welcome to Beauty by Jen. If you have or if you haven't been here, welcome either way. Mass deportation is what we will be talking about today. As you know, or if you don't know, President Trump will be taking office on January 20th at noon precisely. And many people are concerned about being deported, but not only deported en masse. Today, we are going to look at a few of those concerns. Let's get into the video.
Quick question for my fellow Americans. So we've been hearing in the news that a lot of undocumented illegals are being deported, right? Yeah, they're being deported. So my question to you is, since a lot of these poor people are being taken from their jobs, does that mean that you are going to leave your nice, comfy office job to go pick fruit? I don't know, but here in California, it's kind of cold. I don't know where you live. Maybe it's nicer. I don't know. So, yeah, let me know in the comments. I would really love to know if this deportation is actually a good thing, because, you know, these are just people, honest people, just going to work in the fields picking fruit so we can have fresh fruit and vegetables in our marketplaces. But, you know, just a thought. Let me know what you think.
If you are rooting for Trump's mass deportation plans, I hope you step on a Lego every single morning for the rest of your life. I hope the gas pump stops at $0.01 short of a round number. I hope you pick the slowest checkout line at the grocery store every single time. And I hope you always have a pebble in all of your shoes and never find it. And please don't tell me, oh no, it's not about you, it's about the others, because that gives me all the racist vibes. And now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go and respectfully shut my pants because I just received a letter from the USCIS. Which, by the way, for all the big opinions you have about immigrants and immigration, you probably don't even know what USCIS stands for.
With the mass deportations and ICE raids happening in Bakersfield, I wanted to take the time and make this video, and I'm going to be making it in English and Spanish, because we need to talk about how to protect yourself from ICE, especially if they start coming to your home. Después de todo lo que ha pasado en Bakersfield, es necesario que nos protegemos. En este video voy a discutir cómo te puedes proteger de ICE en caso que lleguen a tu casa. If ICE shows up to your house, it's going to be very likely that they're going to use some sort of trick to try to get you to open the door. And it's going to sound something like, hey, we're looking for X person, we're looking for your dad, your mom. Si ICE llega a tu casa, te van a tratar de decir una cosa como, estamos buscando esta persona, queremos buscar esta persona, queremos platicar con esta persona, decir cosas para que abres la puerta. Do not open the door. Remember, you have rights. No les abres la puerta. Acuérdate, tienes derechos. You're going to ask for proof of a warrant, and you're going to ask for their contact information and their badge information, and they can slide it all under the door for you to review. Once you get those, you are going to take pictures of all of those things. Lo que vas a hacer es pedirles una prueba de orden para ver si tienen razón de visitar tu casa. Después de eso, pide un ID o un número de contacto de más información y que te lo pongan todo abajo de la puerta para que lo agarres, tómale foto y luego se lo regresas. So here's what you say to the people once you're done taking pictures and giving it back to them under the door. You're going to say, I don't consent to you coming into my home. I will not speak until I have a lawyer. Go away. Les vas a decir, no consiento que entren a mi casa. No voy a hablar hasta que tenga un abogado y que se vayan.
latest immigration news. Let's talk about the latest immigration news. We have two major news going on, okay? The first one is that ICE is conducting operations in California in the Kern County area. Raids. Well, what can you possibly do? If ICE come to your house, you do not have to answer the door. If you happen to answer the door because they happen to have a valid warrant, search warrant or arrest warrant signed by a federal judge, then what you have to do, you do not have to answer to any questions. Please assert your right to remain silent. You have to assert your right to remain silent, right to have an attorney present. You do not have to sign any document. That's the only thing you can do, because it's coming. So the entire week they'll be conducting operations in California, in Kern County area. The second news is that Trump said that he's going to rescind the policy that prevented immigration enforcement in schools. Basically, the policy that said that, you cannot go in public schools to raid or to conduct some type of operations as far as ICE is concerned, immigration operations as far as ICE is concerned. He said that he's going to rescind that policy. He's going to allow immigration enforcement in schools. What do I think about this new policy that's coming on January 20th? I think it's going to be challenged in court. And the reason being, it's because we have a Supreme Court case of Plyler versus Doe that basically says that any undocumented child is entitled to an education. And because that Supreme Court case is going to be in conflict with the new Trump policy, while of course everything is going to have to be challenged in court. So stay tuned for the next video. Until next time, bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm going to read this article really quickly. That will be linked in the description box, and then we'll get right back into the video. So the article reads as follows. Even before Donald Trump's January 20th inauguration, the new Republican majority in the U.S. Congress is moving to implement hardline border and migration measures. The Laken-Riley Act, which mandates detentions for minor crimes and gives superpowers to state attorneys general, is nearing passage. Next week, the Senate Homeland Security Committee will hold hearings on the Homeland Security Secretary nominee and the Remain in Mexico program, a big reconciliation package of spending for border hardening and deportations awaits, though it may be later than initially expected. Donald Trump expects to issue a large number of executive orders regarding the border and migration on January 20th, possibly including a revival of Title 42. Officials have been discussing, without very much detail, plans for a mass deportation campaign that could cost dozens of billions of dollars per year. Governments in Mexico and Central America are concerned about the economic impact and about the likelihood that the Trump administration may push them to accept deportations of other countries' citizens. The president of Honduras threatened to close a 42-year-old U.S. military base. So this thing is getting serious. Let's get more into the video.
What's up, MAGA world? MAGA man here. So, are y'all mad or y'all not mad? Because from the videos I've been seeing on TikTok this morning, I think y'all big mad. Big mad. But fuck all that. What I really want to say is, let the mass deportation begin. The U.S. Border Patrol, the Joint Anti-Smuggling Operation, and the Texas Department of Public Safety is coming for an illegal immigrant near you. So get y'all shit ready. But on a side note, let me show you what it's gonna look like.
Mexico, while they're being chased, that way they can try to find a way to evade capture, which in this case, the driver was able to. There was nobody in the truck, and then we looked across the river, there's probably about 10 more people that were looking to cross over the river, but we were able to stop that, which is a good thing.
The joint anti-smuggling operation uses the resources and officers of both law enforcement organizations, the Border Patrol and the Texas Department of Public Safety, to locate, track, search for, and apprehend smugglers and migrants. Earlier in June, authorities used drones to track a group of migrants and then set off on foot to search the brush to detain them. Olivares said the operation had been going on for a year and had resulted in a number of arrests.
And the focus of this operation is to go after the smuggling guides that are bringing people across the river illegally from Mexico. We want to focus on those guides and be able to arrest them for human smuggling and file state charges on them. So it's been a very effective operation. We have made well over 100 arrests over the course of the last year since we started this operation, and that's specifically targeting smuggling guides.
These operations come as U.S. President Joe Biden has grappled with record numbers of migrants caught crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally on his watch. The Democrat is seeking re-election in November and recently rolled out a restrictive new asylum ban at the border to deter crossers. Biden's Republican challenger, former President Donald Trump, has vowed to crack down aggressively if he wins another term in the White House. U.S. efforts to restrict entry have proven lucrative for criminal gangs who can charge and extort vulnerable migrants seeking better lives north of the border.
Hey, pop the truck.
Video released last week by the Texas Department of Public Safety shows a traffic stop where officers discover 3 people hidden in the trunk of a car. Texas officials charged the driver and front seat passenger with 6 counts of human smuggling, DPS said.
Senator Foley, they can't flood the labor force if they're already part of the labor force.
13 million people you want to dump into the labor force. Or who will dry labor illegally. They're here, taking jobs from American citizens. They sound, perfect. So here's your plan. So just if you're wondering, America, here's the Democrats' plan. Take the 13 million plus illegals who are here, taking jobs from Americans, taking wages down, taking health care benefits, and bring them here legally so that they can continue to drive down wages, flood the labor force, and suppress.
Senator Foley, they can't flood the labor force if they're already part of the labor force.
Honestly, it does not feel right in my heart to keep posting videos on TikTok when something that's very near and dear to my heart is happening in California. I just hit 19.1K here on TikTok, and I would feel like such a phony if I didn't post about things that are important to me and things that I value. As a lot of you may have seen, in Bakersfield, California, ICE has been doing raids and racially profiling Latinos who appear to be undocumented. I saw one video outside of a Home Depot where a man was detained by ICE and his mother was asking the agents where she could find him, how she could contact him, and they provided her absolutely no information. I also saw another video of people getting detained on the highway. They were getting pulled over and they were literally being racially profiled. And I saw another video where there were some workers that go to a store pretty regularly to get some food. They went inside, got the food, paid for the food. When they walked out, ICE agents did detain them. This is so disheartening to me because I am a daughter of immigrants. My parents and my siblings were all born in Mexico. I am fortunate enough that my family does have their papers now, but that wasn't always the case. Immigrants contribute so much to the economy in the United States, and it's just so disheartening that their work is never appreciated and they just want to get rid of them when they're just here to get a better life for themselves and their family, just as my parents wanted for me. I live in Chicago, and if some of you guys know, Trump and the border czar Tom did say that Chicago was going to be ground zero for mass deportations. If you aren't aware, I would definitely recommend to do know your rights trainings just so that you know what to do in case ICE does come knocking. I'm not here to argue with anyone that is for mass deportations and is for all of that. I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change mine. So don't try to spew hate. I will never fight fire with fire anymore. I'm over that. I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change mine. My thoughts and prayers are with all of the undocumented families that are currently living in fear of being deported and being separated from their families, because I once was in that same position. And for all of you that are followers of Jesus Christ, I'm going to leave you with something here at the end in case you are for mass deportations. Jesus Christ was not. He said to love foreigners and treat them like you would yourself.
So you may be wondering, what are the things that could cause someone to be deported from the United States? So I'm going to read it out to you, and it says, deportation from the United States can occur for several reasons, including violating immigration laws or committing certain criminal offenses. Here are some causes: illegal entry or overstay, entering the U.S. without proper documentation or overstaying your visa; fraud or misrepresentation, providing false information on visa applications or immigration documents; failure to maintain status, violating the terms of a visa, such as working without authorization or not enrolling in school when required; aggravated felonies, serious crimes like murder, drug trafficking, or rape; crimes of moral turpitude, crimes involving dishonesty or intentional harm, such as theft or fraud; drug-related offenses, drug use, possession, or trafficking; domestic violence, convictions involving harm to a partner or family member; firearms violations, illegal possession, use, or sale of firearms; security concerns; terrorism, involvement in or support of terrorist activities; espionage, spying for a foreign government; threat to national security; actions deemed harmful to the U.S., dependence on public benefits if deemed likely to become primarily dependent on government assistance in certain circumstances; failure to comply with removal orders, ignoring or failing to comply with an immigration judge's order for removal; marriage fraud, entering into a sham marriage solely to gain immigration benefits; voting illegally; participating in federal elections as a non-citizen; revocation of green card or citizenship; committing acts that justify the revocation of lawful permanent resident status or naturalized citizenship. And that was all they had. So let's get more into the video.
The other thing is mass deportations now in all caps. Trump made very few, at least specific promises in the campaign that he just won. When it comes to traditional kind of policy discourse, it was mostly absent. This is one that was a highly specific promise from Trump. And not only that, but he believes it's core to why he won re-election to the White House in the first place, is this idea that his supporters are most motivated by his anti-immigration views and promises. Again, do we know the exact number that will constitute mass deportations now for Donald Trump? We don't really. Yet we do know and should expect that this is really going to happen in a way that perhaps many Americans and many American businesses have not fully appreciated the extent to which this is going to be a disruptive factor. And it's going to come very early on in the new Trump administration.
What up, guys? Come with West 10 TV. Y'all gonna stay out of my comments about this mass deportation. I'm gonna talk about it every time something happens. They did a big bust out there, a raid, whatever you want to call it, in Bakersfield, California, picked up all kind of folks, and they took them down. You know what I mean? They're conducting more today. There's other states they're getting ready to head to. Y'all just need to look at the news a little bit. It ain't like it's just rocket scientist stuff. They're not hiding the information. They're telling y'all that it's getting ready to happen. It's really nothing you can do but leave if you're here illegally. And also, mind you this, a majority of the Latinos voted for Trump and he said mass deportation. Y'all need to redirect that energy back at y'all community, the ones that can vote. And also, hell, you shouldn't have came over here illegally. I mean, that's all I can tell you. This is absolutely crazy, you know what I mean? And it's happening, though, you know what I mean? But, you know, you can't go to no other country and stay there without having the right kind of paperwork and going through the process. You broke the law. You know what I mean? Nobody's above the law, as they say. So don't get mad at me because you did it to yourself. Peace.
I am just hearing that Donald Trump has recently said that the United States will no longer do business with any country that will not accept immigrants back through the mass deportation plan. Now, keep in mind, these are some people that may have only just been born there and have no other ties there, no other connections there, or some of them have never been there as part of this mass deportation plan. Now, this would cut off a lot of business dealings, a lot of trades, a lot of things with other countries if they refuse to take back these immigrants, migrants that will be deported through the mass deportation plan. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And as always, feel free to fact check me. I'm just somebody that wants to know what's going on in the world because there's so much going on in the world. And in the event of a TikTok ban, make sure that you click my Lemonade and my Instagram links in my bio. Also, quick bit, I'm learning so much about how much we actually trade and how much we actually get from other countries. There was so much going on around me that I didn't know.
It says mass deportations now. Mass deportations now. That is the kind of policy that is alarming, even cruel, even un-American to folks on the left. And that is the intended effect. Someone I spoke to just a moment ago said it's going to make heads explode. And you may wonder, is that where the Republican Party is today? I did a little digging. I can tell you from my reporting during the primary season talking to voters, the answer is absolutely yes. And the answer from pollsters is absolutely yes. 3 out of 4 Republicans want immigration to decline in America, and they believe that immigration brings in drugs, brings in crime, and makes the economy worse, even, quote, reduces social and moral values. On top of that, a full 80% of Republicans, according to CBS News' own polling, agree with Donald Trump when he says that illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of the country.
Let me be clear. There is going to be a mass deportation. We're not waiting till January. We're already talking. We're already planning. We're going to put a plan in place and secure this nation at the highest level it's ever seen. It is a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. Don't test us.
My immigrant mother just called me on the phone innocently asking me if she should start carrying her passport in case they start doing mass deportations to prove that she's a citizen. That's so sad.
Hello, my name is Amalia. I'm Latina, white passing, citizen. Been here since I was 4 years old. And this message goes out to the Latinos who voted for Trump. So Stephen Miller, he was responsible for the Muslim ban during Trump's first term, tweeted that the denaturalization process is going to happen and it's going to be turbocharged. What does that mean? That means that you Latinos who voted for Trump are going to be deported. Your citizenship is going to be stripped and you are going to be deported. Because of you, my citizenship is going to be stripped and I'm going to be deported. I'm Venezuelan, and this goes out to the Magasolanos, the Venezuelan Trump supporters. Why would you align yourself with a man who wants to be a dictator, who's associated with the color red? Look, we're getting deported, thanks to you. Y lo voy a repetir en español. Para los latinos que votaron por Trump, el señor que fue responsable de quitarle los derechos y la posibilidad de entrar a los musulmanes cuando Trump fue presidente la primera vez, ahora está creyendo unas pólizas para quitarnos la ciudadanía, los que somos ciudadanos ahora, por tu culpa. Y esto es específicamente para los venezolanos que votaron por Trump. Te lo van a quitar. Te van a quitar la ciudadanía porque tú votaste por él y es tu culpa. Yeah.
It's chilling what he just said.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
You realize that when he says, yes, families can be deported together, what he is saying is that U.S. citizens can be deported. What he is saying is if the parent is undocumented and they have U.S. citizen children or U.S. citizen spouse, or and you don't want to separate them, then let's deport the U.S. citizens. Look, Donald Trump won the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him immunity. This is what the country voted for. This is, you know, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as border czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller, as Deputy Chief of Staff, should let you know that he was absolutely serious. And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, you know, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out.
Let me tell you something. 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 Wait. Let me tell you something. 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 Wait. Help me! Help me!
I know you did. I remember. And then, do you know what's the final tee-hee-hee? That your daddy, President Musk, and First Lady, Donald Trump, are now telling you that they need H-1B visas because Americans are stupid, because they don't have the education to do the job that's needed. You're just a laborer. Joke's on you. Have a great day.
Hello everyone, so I just wanted to tell you guys something very important that's happening right now in Bakersfield, California. It's the mass deportation that's occurring right now. Hola a todos, solo les vengo a decir y hablar sobre lo que está pasando en Bakersfield, California, sobre la deportación masiva que está sucediendo ahorita. I came to give you some advice in case ICE ever steps foot at your door. Les vine a dar unos consejos en caso que ICE esté afuera de tu puerta. First, you do not have to open the door at them unless they have a warrant signed by a jury. Primero, no tienen que abrirles la puerta al menos que tengan una orden firmada por un juez. You can ask them to show it through the window or they can slide it down the door. Les puedes decir que te la enseñen por la ventana o que te la manden por abajo de la puerta. Let's say they do have the warrant. Digamos que tienen el papel firmado por el juez. You can stay silent. You still have your Miranda rights. Tú te puedes quedar callado porque todavía tienes los rights de Miranda. Tú les puedes decir que no vas a hablar al menos que tengas tu abogado presente. You can say you're not going to talk unless your lawyer is present. Or you can ask them that you want to speak to your lawyer. O les puedes decir que quieres hablar con tu abogado. Don't forget that whatever you say will and may be used against the court in law. Durante este tiempo, lo que tú digas será usado contra ti en la corte. So, quédate callado, stay silent. You don't have to answer any questions. Tú no les tienes que decir nada ni responderle ninguna pregunta. Also, don't sign anything. Tampoco firmen nada de lo que les esté dando en un papel. Nada hasta que tengan un abogado presente. Until you have a lawyer present. If you have any questions, Attorney Martinez right now is giving advice and is helping every immigrant out. Si tienen cualquier pregunta, Attorney Martínez on TikTok les está dando advice, consejos sobre lo que pueden hacer durante este tiempo. Vayan a seguirla, go follow her page and go check it out. Vayan a ver su página y vayan a seguirla. That's all in this video. Like, subscribe. Eso es todo en este video. No se olviden de darle like y suscríbanse a este podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Go on my YouTube for anything else. Vayan a mi YouTube.
Breaking news. The president of Mexico has stated that he will begin to deport Americans that have moved to Mexico without proper documentation, aka illegal immigrants. This comes after the president of Mexico states that he is tired of Americans gentrifying cities in Mexico. In the past 3 weeks, we have seen different events where Americans try to colonize beaches, public areas, and even salsa. While a lot of these Americans have moved to Mexico for a better life, they move there because they cannot afford to live here in the United States. So move to Mexico so they can afford a lifestyle there, but locals have raised their prices because Americans are paying in dollars while locals that are still shopping have to pay in pesos and now have to pay the equivalent of the dollar. And instead of these people moving to Mexico and bettering the economy, they're making it horrible for the people that live there, you know, the natives. And if you already did not know, the amount of Mexicans migrating to the United States has slowed down by the 100,000 since 2019. The amount of Mexicans living in the United States leaving willingly back to Mexico has increased drastically. And while Mexicans are moving back to Mexico, a lot of Americans have been moving to Mexico for a better life. But my, how the tables have turned. What are your thoughts?
So you've seen all of the videos, you've heard all of the information. What do you think about all this? Do you think this is fair? Do you think this will even happen? Will this cost too much? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Let's have a discussion. Thanks for being here. Also, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all next time.